Very good afternoon, dear students. I hope you are all fine. So I am dealing with now the chapter birth, page number 67, as you can see. So I am starting from the very first line of page number 67. As you know that Andrew came to the house of Joe Morgan for a critical delivery case related with Joe Morgan's wife Susan Morgan, who was about to give birth to a child after 20 years of married life. Now, Susan said not to give her the chloroform. Now, who told this to whom? This was actually been told by Susan Morgan's 70-year-old mother, and to whom she told it? She told it to Andrew. Okay, that Susan said not to give her the chloroform if it would harm the baby. She is awful set upon this child, doctor. Okay, now even she told that Susan Morgan is hell-bent on giving birth to this child. So that is the reason she doesn't want to take any risk. Actually, not only she, but even her 70-year-old mother was also not eager to take any risk at all. Okay, so see this line. Her old eyes warmed at a sudden thought. She added in a low tone, "We all are, I fancy." Now this line actually suggests that even they were also not very much interested in giving the chloroform and all those things. But you know, being science students, you know it very well that in a delivery, without doing the anesthesia, it is not possible. Whether it's a cesarean operation or a normal delivery, chloroform anesthesia is required. So now Andrew went again. See, he collected himself with an effort. He, from the downstairs where he was sipping a warm cup of tea, once again he went upstairs. See, it won't do any harm, the anesthetic. He said kindly, they will be all right. So nothing to worry, they will be completely fine, or rather to say they will be all right. Here the nurse's voice was heard calling from the top landing. Andrew glanced at the clock, which now showed 3:30. So it was 3:30. And Andrew thought that this is the right time. I should start with the delivery operation. Okay, he rose and went up to the bedroom. So what he did, he went straight to the bedroom. He perceived that he might now begin his work. He thought at the back of his mind, this is the right time, and yes, now I can start with my work. Work means with the delivery operation, now I can start. An hour elapsed. What is the meaning of elapsed? An hour passed by. It was a long, harsh struggle. Then, as the first streaks of dawn strayed past the broken edges of the blind, the child was born lifeless. So after 1 hour, because it was a very long harsh struggle, so 1 hour it has taken. After 1 hour the child was born, but unfortunately the child was born lifeless. Okay, as if the child has no life in his body. Okay, or in medical terminology we call it stillborn. Okay, the child was physically formed well, everything was fine, but the child was actually not responding as such. Clear up to this? Is there any doubt, dear students?
Okay.
Okay, I am now scrolling a bit down. See, as he gazed at the still form here means the still body. Still form here actually it means the still body. So as he gazed at the still form, a shiver of horror passed over Andrew. After all that he had promised, his face heated with his own exertions, chilled suddenly. So see, definitely he was tired, as we all know. He had a tough time with Christine also, his girlfriend with whom he quarreled. You all know it. Then apart from that, the pressure in the hospital. Okay, because he's a junior doctor, he had to work hard because he started his profession newly. And apart from that, he was tired also, because after all he's not a robot, he's a human being, a person of flesh and blood, isn't it? So apart from this, even the delivery was a very difficult one. It was a long harsh struggle, but finally he was able to take the child out of the womb of the mother. Okay, so but after the child was born, the important thing is that the child was stillborn, or rather to say the child was born lifeless. He hesitated, torn between his desire to attempt to resuscitate the child and his obligation towards the mother, who was herself in a desperate state. Now, this is very important. Now, being a doctor, you have to take decisions, and you have to take decisions randomly, okay, without wasting any time. Now, the term resuscitate, it means to revive, okay, revival. It's a medical term actually. If you search the medical dictionary, you will find this term is written. Resuscitate actually means to revive. Obligation, you have read in Ailing Planet. I hope you know the meaning of obligation, means duties and responsibilities. See, this is the actual job of a doctor, that yes, I have to save the life of the patient till the last moment. Also, I will be trying my level best to do that. See, the dilemma was so urgent, he did not solve it consciously. Blindly, instinctively, he gave the child to the nurse and turned his attention to Susan Morgan, who now lay collapsed, almost pulseless, and not yet out of the ether upon her side. Remember, she was still unconscious because of the chloroform, because of the anesthesia, but her health condition deteriorated substantially. Her health condition had deteriorated so much that Andrew thought that it is high time that he should pay some attention to her. So what he did, he gave the child to the nurse, okay, and after that he concentrated on checking the pulse of Susan Morgan. And dear students, it seems that he can't feel her pulse. Okay, see here it is written, almost pulseless and not yet out of the ether upon her side. Even now also she is under the influence of that particular chloroform, or under the influence of anesthesia. His haste was desperate, a frantic race against her ebbing strength. It took him only an instant to smash a glass ampule and inject the medicine. So ultimately there was no other way out for Andrew. Immediately he gave an injection, okay, to Susan Morgan, and by the grace of God it worked. Okay, see, after a few minutes of feverish effort, her heart strengthened. He saw that he might safely leave her. He swung round in his shirt sleeves, his hair sticking to his damp brow. Now this is very important. Andrew was actually sweating. Okay, he was very much sweating because child was also in a very critical condition. The mother of the child was also in a critical condition. Okay, so see this line, I am repeating and I am highlighting this particular lines. Okay, see, after a few minutes of feverish effort, her heart strengthened. He saw that he might safely leave her. He swung round in his shirt sleeves, his hair sticking to his damp brow. That means he was sweating also. Now what is to be done? Now fine, to the grace of God, as I told you, that the mother revived. Now Andrew went on looking for the child. See, where's the child? The midwife made a frightened gesture. She had placed it beneath the bed, because she is so much backdated, not scientifically inclined, and she is very much superstitious also. She thought that the child is dead and there is no need to bring the child once again in close to the mother of the child, because there is no hope of this child to be alive. Okay, just hold on. I hope there is someone. Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ayush. Welcome to the class.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Okay. Is the text visible to you? Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is page number is 67. We are at the second last paragraph of page number 67, related with the chapter birth. Tomorrow also I will be dealing with this. Okay, and this class I will be continuing a bit more also, because I started a bit late because of the net problem. Okay, so I hope you all will cooperate with me. Now you see the child was placed beneath the bed. See, in a flash Andrew knelt down. This is the past tense. Okay, knelt. Fishing means actually he was searching desperately. Finally he found the child amongst the sodden newspapers. What is the meaning of the term sodden? Can any one of you guess what exactly is the meaning of the term sodden? S-O-D-D-N. Sodden means old newspapers. We all keep our old newspapers piled up. Later we give it in the stationery store. We sell it, right? So here also some old newspapers were kept below the bed, and the midwife, she found that it is not possible to save this child any longer. Okay, so what she did, she kept the child below the bed. Andrew pulled out the child because Andrew will try till the very end, and it is the duty of a doctor to try till the very end, if he can, to save, or if he or she can, to save the life of a patient. See, a boy perfectly formed. The limp, warm body was white and soft as tallow. The cord means I am talking about the umbilical cord. And what is tallow? Actually, see, in the footnote it is written, the hard fat of animals melted and used to make soap candles. And even when you see a newborn child, okay, obviously the skin is like that of very delicate. Okay, the skin is very delicate, is known as soft and white. Okay, just like that of hard fat of animals. That means the skin of a newborn infant child is compared with that of the hard fat of animals. And apart from that, the umbilical cord, as you know, that connects the mother with the child, right, that was slashed previously when Andrew did the delivery operation. Now see, and it was lying on the bed also. The skin was of a lovely texture, smooth and tender. The skin was very delicate. Okay, it was very smooth and very tender. The head lolled on the thin neck. The limbs seemed boneless. It seems that the head is just attached on the neck. Even the neck portion is also not clearly visible. That means the body is perfectly formed, but somewhere down the line the child is not responding as such. Okay, and even the limbs of the child seemed boneless. Now I am scrolling a bit down. Page number is 68. Dear students, confirm me. Page number 68 is visible to all of you? Okay, fine. So let us, okay, thank you. So let us move on, and on one important kind reminder, attendance. Okay, please everyone give in the Google Classroom. Okay, don't forget it, every one of you. Now see, still kneeling, Andrew stared at the child with a haggard frown. The whiteness meant only one thing, asphyxia pallida. It's a medical term when there is carbon dioxide in the blood, and when there is less oxygen in the body, or oxygen intake is less, then that is something that is related with this term, asphyxia pallida. Okay, see, it is written in the footnote. Let me just scroll it in order to show you. I am talking about this suffocation or unconscious condition caused by lack of oxygen and excess of carbon dioxide in the blood. Lack of oxygen and excess of carbon dioxide, accompanied by paleness of the skin, weak pulse and loss of reflexes. Because see, obviously pulse rate is checked also. Okay, but if the pulse rate is weak, if the skin is whitish in color, and if the child is reflexes are not good of the child, if the child is not moving hands and feet, then obviously it is a medical symptom that is related with either suffocation or an unconscious condition that is caused by lack of oxygen and obviously excess of CO2 or carbon dioxide. Okay, see now, still kneeling, Andrew stared. The root word is stare. Stare means to look fixedly at the child with a haggard frown. The whiteness meant only one thing, asphyxia pallida, and his mind, unnaturally tense, raced back to a case he once had seen in the Samaritan. Samaritan is a place where Andrew, when he was still a medical student, maybe when he was in the final years of his medical medical duration as a junior doctor. At that time he went to a field study. Okay, the place is Samaritan. Samaritan is actually the name of a place. So there he saw a treatment that he will now apply. Remember one thing, Andrew finally will save the child. We all know that. Andrew will definitely use his medical knowledge, but side by side, dear students, he will be applying his practical knowledge also. Okay, see now. The whiteness meant only one thing, asphyxia pallida, and his mind unnaturally tense raced back to a case he once had seen in the Samaritan, to the treatment that had been used. Instantly he was on his feet because he remembered, okay, what sort of a treatment? Water therapy. Okay, that was the treatment. That means the child will be dipped, okay, in hot water basin, and at the same time again in the cold water basin. Okay, see, get me hot water and cold water. He threw out to the nurse, and basins too, quick, quick. But doctor, she faltered, her eyes on the pallid body of the child. Quick, he shouted. Snatching a blanket, he laid the child upon it and began the special method of respiration, that water therapy, that special method of respiration he started. Okay, what was that particular process? Putting the child in the hot water basin and immediately again taking the child out and putting it in the cold water basin. Okay, see, the basins arrived. By the time Andrew started with the special method of respiration also, but still the child is not responding, and that created the situation to be more tense. Okay, see, the basins arrived, the ewer, the big iron kettle. Frantically means desperately. The root word, remember dear students, the root word is this, frantic. Okay, frantic is actually the root word. Frantically he splashed cold water into one basin, into the other he mixed water as hot as his hand could bear. Bear means or endure. So in one he mixed cold water, and in the other he mixed hot water. Okay, and then he plunged the child, as I told you few minutes ago. Then he plunged the child in the hot water and again in the cold water. See, then like some crazy juggler, he hurried the child beneath the two, now plunging it into the icy, now into the steaming bath. Okay, that means, as I told you, just like a juggler. I think juggling you have seen in circus. I think you have seen in movies, right? Juggling, I hope you have seen. In Europe, it is very popular. Okay, if you in many movies also you will find that in the streets, in any foreign location, okay, they are doing juggling. Okay, and in circus also I think you have seen juggling. Okay, juggler. So like a juggler here, what Andrew was doing actually, Andrew was actually putting the child in the hot water, immediately putting it in the cold water. So once he is plunging the child in the icy cold water, and on the next moment again plunging it into the steaming bath. 15 minutes passed. Sweat was now running into Andrew's eyes, blinding him. One of his sleeves hung down, dripping. He was sweating because after that painstaking delivery, he haven't expected that the child will be lifeless or the child will be stillborn. He haven't expected. Okay, neither when he was inside the car with Joe Morgan, about to arrive at his place, that is 12 Blyana Terrace. Before this, at that time also he had no premonition of fear that anything wrong will happen like this. He had no such fear in his mind in advance earlier also, but now he was very desperate to save the child. Okay, because already he saved the mother of the child. The mother was also having no pulse as such, but he injected a syringe and that revived the mother of the child. Now he is very much desperate, okay, dear students, to save the life of the child. See, one of his sleeves hung down, dripping. He was actually sweating a lot. His breath came pantingly, but no breath came from the lax body of the child. Now, what is the meaning of lax? Can any one of you tell what is the meaning of the term lax? There is a drama written by J.B. Presley, Mother's Day. There you will find this word being written, when actually that magic was being performed by Mrs. Fitzgerald. I hope you understand. Okay, then after that magic was performed, for a time being there is a line written that both of them went lax. Okay, lax, I mean this one you will find there also. Lax actually means lifeless, as if there is no life in the body. An unconsciousness state is also related with lax state. Okay, so his breath came pantingly, but no breath came from the lax body of the child. Okay, lifeless body of the child. The child was not responding even after performing the special method of respiration, or rather to say the water therapy process also. The child was actually not responding. One more paragraph to end the class. A desperate sense of defeat pressed on him. Now Andrew was thinking, after doing all those things, will I be defeated? A raging hopelessness. He was feeling hopelessness from inside, that what will I answer to Joe Morgan? What will I answer to the aged woman? What will I answer to Susan Morgan, who was recovering from her unconscious state, lying on the bed after she underwent a critical delivery? What should I answer to them? He felt the midwife watching him in stark consternation, while there, pressed back against the wall where she had all the time remained, her hand pressed to her throat, uttering no sound, her eyes burning upon him, was the old woman. Obviously, the old woman, she was in a shock. She was pressing her throat because it seems that she was about to cry, but her voice, her cries, her voice, all those things are getting choked up. Okay, because she also longed desperately to see the face of her grandchild, but now she is thinking that maybe all went futile. Okay, that is the reason she was pressing her throat, because so much tensed and nervous she was, and so much of in shock she was, that she was pressing her throat. Okay, he remembered her longing for a grandchild. Longing means, you know, desire, urge, as great as had been her daughter's longing for this child. All dashed away now, futile beyond remedy. Now, this is something very important. Now, not only it was her longing, it was a lifelong desire to see the face of her grandchild, but also it was her lifelong desire of her daughter also to be the mother of a child. Okay, now Andrew thought about all this, and Andrew was thinking while he was trying his level best to save this child, that what I will be saying to them, how I will be answerable to them. See, all dashed away now, futile. Futile means something that is useless. Useless. Okay, futile, fatuous. We can use the term fatuous also. Fatuous, beyond remedy. Now Andrew was thinking, oh God, what will happen now? How I will be answering, or in what way I will be answerable to them, because so many hopes they had. 70-year-old woman, she had a hope also of seeing the face of her grandchild. Even the mother, Susan Morgan, the wife of Joe Morgan, she gave birth to a child. So obviously it was a lifelong process. It was a longing for a child. Now what should be done? Andrew was really in a tensed situation now, but still Andrew will try his best, and as I told you, Andrew will be able to save the life of the child. So I have done up to beyond remedy. I have taken few minutes, I know, so I hope you will be adjusting that one. So tomorrow I will be starting from here, the floor, and after completing this, if I get some time, I will be discussing some question answers. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone. Thank you for your cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.